standards, but then again, it is still summer. Either way, the AC is working just fine at U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. It can certainly get loud inside this building, and just a few moments ago when the Vikings were introduced, it was downright shaking in here. They're set for football as the Vikings get ready to do battle with the Atlanta Falcons. The man back in purple in 2019, Dan Bailey, to get us started. And we are underway from downtown Minneapolis. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line.
The Falcons take over first and 10 at their own 17-yard line.
Ready? 10-2 stop. Check, check. Walk 54. Walk 54. Check, 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 check.
A carry for Devontae Freeman, who missed most of last season. And he'll hope that this is not a sign of what's in store as he has to fight just to get back to the line of scrimmage. The tackle goes to Harrison Smith.
One of my favorite safeties in the league is Harrison Smith. His ability to support in the run game, as we just saw there, that's key, but also can cover deep as well.
Set 70, Indy. And ready.
Looking to throw on second down. Shaw. He's going to wind up and air it out. Oh, it's intercepted. He was trying to get it to Ridley. Xavier Rhodes with a pick. Oh, not a good omen there. His first throw of the afternoon, intercepted.
And I know what the fans are thinking right now. I hope there's not negative thoughts in his head going forward since that's his first throw of the game. But one of the things I remember about him coming out of school is he's able to wipe things away pretty easily and move on.
And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
To Hunt. 80. 59. Wide. Check 59. Mike is 59.
Play fake. Cousins lets it fly for Thielen. Now a clash of bodies here, and it's intercepted. It's David Long, the rookie from Michigan, who picked it. So a pretty shaky start here for both sides.
Yeah, each quarterback's throwing a ball to the other team. Do you think on both sidelines they're sitting them down and saying, okay, remember, this is the color jersey we're wearing. They're wearing the other color. Let's make sure we get it to our guys, please.
The drive will start with a carry by Devontae Freeman. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage.
And Anthony Barr just has it all as far as I'm concerned in terms of physique, athletic ability, and now he's versatile as well. When he came out of UCLA, he played outside linebacker, but also down defensive end. The Vikings can utilize the same sort of skills.
Now on 2nd and 13. Shaw. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
That's very well timed there defensively because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on 3rd down. Now Shaw. And it's intercepted in the end zone. Picked off by Harrison Smith. Dan Bailey now for the extra point. He's got it, and the Vikings take a 7-0 lead. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Fielded about a yard deep. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And job one here, Charles, just keep possession of the football. 2 drives, 2 turnovers to this point.
You're exactly right, Doctor. Hippocratic oath. First, do no harm. And right now, they're harming themselves on offense.
I like that. And that's caught inside the 30. Touchdown, Falcons. A big play there. 81 yards. And the Falcons are an extra point away from tying the football game. Well, go ahead and strap in, partner. Less than 2 minutes in, had the score on the one side. A quick answer, though, to get the equalizer.
Sometimes you get that sense of urgency that ratchets up, right? When you give up an early touchdown like that, you just know you're like, okay, how do we go back and equalize things? Can we get it done fast? And they absolutely did. Essentially, we're back to even, aren't we?
We play to win. Let's go.
Vikings take over first and 10 at their own 17-yard line.
Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. They had the auspicious beginning to the season, a first drive turnover. Now they'll try again here, first and 10. And they'll blow that one up back at the 16-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and it's second down.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. From the gun, it's a give to Cook. They'll rumble for about 6 up across the 20 to the 22.
I remember the first time I saw Dalvin Cook play in college. I was watching him on TV, called a scouting friend of mine and said, "Who is this guy? He's special." And he said, "Dude, you're watching a home run hitter on the field."
Yeah, he was special in Tallahassee. Left Florida State their all-time leader in rushing yards and touchdowns. They go play action. Cousins. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down. So hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now, that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
So on 4th down, they bring on the Michigan man, Matt Wild, to kick it away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken at about the 18-yard line. That's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the Falcons will be taking over, first and 10. Now the Falcons offense gets ready to head back onto the field. And last time the formula was pretty simple. 1-play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, 1-play drives exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was real easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
Yeah, we'll see if it's that easy here. 3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Here's Shaw. He completes this to Russell Gage. 16 yards, a first down.
A gain of 16 yards. First down, Atlanta.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you.
Looking to throw. And here's another interception, the 3rd of this first quarter. Picked up by Harrison Smith. And the return stops just a little bit shy of midfield at the 48-yard line. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. And the results for them have not been strong to this point. 2 drives have ended in a turnover and then a punt.
So would it be too snarky for me to say that they've shown improvement? Because you had two drives with turnovers. Now they punted it away, so at least they didn't turn it over. So that's good, right?
You're going to get some angry users reaching out to you on social media.
Well, I don't mean to be. I was actually looking for the positive. Silver lining, you know.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5.
So don't say nothing.
Now Cousins. This time for Smith, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Deion Jones, the linebacker. And a super return as he gets us all the way down inside the 25-yard line. They told us repeatedly earlier in the week in our meetings, we need some plays from our defense here on the road early. They got one.
And don't think they were above all week long pointing out to their defense that the other defense is rated higher than them. You going to let that happen, guys? Is that how we're going to play? And they responded to the challenge.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And his throw here is incomplete. Austin Hooper, the intended receiver. That'll bring up second down.
Charles, he doesn't seem to be particularly in tune with his receivers, just 2 for 7 throwing the football, but he did seem really locked in before the game.
Yeah, and that has to do with receivers sometimes. Sometimes the defenders knock them off their routes, and you're usually pretty precise. 1, 2, 3 cut, balls out of his hands to the receiver. In this case,
nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver, where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a first down.
That's fielded in the end zone. And he will take it back only to about the 13-yard line here.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these team special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive, almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 11, he goes down. A loss of 2 there, 2nd down.
Plays like we just saw there, that's why they're up right now. And the defense, they're doing their job.
Yeah, it starts with the guys up front. So when you talk with GMs who are putting together a team, a lot of them say we're going to build from the inside out, because if you control the line of scrimmage, you control the rest of the ball game, and that's what we're seeing here. They're actually playing in the offense's backfield, not necessarily just playing at the line of scrimmage.
Up front, the struggles continue for this offense among the line. What can they do? Change the play calling? What?
I think part of that, yes, changing some of the play calls, some screens, some draws, some misdirection. You want to run any type of a play that will influence these guys to continue to get upfield and find a way to use that against them and slip things in behind them. So some quick passes could work as well.
10-7 our score after 1 right here on EA Sports. So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long.
I smell fear in that offense.
From the gun, here's Cousins. So they decline it as that will bring up 4th.
And I know that yardage and field position are keys to any game played, but you've got to consider downs when you're talking about penalties. And they wisely did not take that one and made it 4th down.
And he's able to get it out of there, and this is a pretty good kick. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over.
At their own 42-yard line.
A reminder coming up later tonight, the Patriots unfurl their 6 banners. They play host to their rival Steelers. And then on Monday night, it's the one weekend of the year where you get 2 games to wrap up the week. Texans and Saints from New Orleans in the early game, then Broncos and Raiders. Vic Fangio's coaching debut and the Raiders' final season opener in Oakland. That's the late game, 10:30 Eastern.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or
better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete. The intended target was Calvin Ridley, and it's 3rd down.
I'm trying to decipher what's going on out there because I don't know if he's just getting bad reads. I don't know if the defense is confusing him. I don't know if he just has, bad info and intel before he snaps the ball. But he's made some pretty bad decisions with the football lately.
Yeah, several bad decisions on the interceptions he's thrown, and frankly, that should have been another pick right there. Throwing the out route incomplete. It's Gray. And he gets this one across midfield for the first down to the 46. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a first down. Past the 20. And he's going to be out down inside the 20 at the 15. It'll go as an impressive 31-yard gain. So after the big play, look at this, all the way down at the 15 now on 1st and 10. Now a handoff. It's Freeman. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. The Falcons on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10. They'll look to throw here. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Ron Parker. And to the 12. That's where it stops. The return is halted at the 12-yard line. We haven't even escaped the first half, and he's already thrown 4 picks.
And Brandon, back in the good old days, probably back before you were born, if your starter threw 4 in the first half, he might throw 8 or more for the game because they weren't going to pull him out. But nowadays, the patience level isn't quite there. He's going to have to make some real adjustments, or the backup may see some time.
Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
A gain of 4. It's now 2nd and 6 at the 16-yard line.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6.
Let's make these babies cry all the way back home, yo. Let's make these babies cry all the way back.
And they'll get him down here at the 23. 7 yards there and a first down.
Exactly what they needed right there because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Jahan, what I need? Watch my board. You better bring it. You better bring it. Jahan.
First down. Here's Cousins. He'll find Thielen working the middle. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 19 yards there on the catch and run.
That looked like a pretty good route combination there because you've got to find a way to clear the guy running the drag because when you do, you can just put the...
There he goes, right side. Touchdown, Vikings. Cameron Meredith, 58 yards. And the Vikings are going to retake the lead. And they got the extra point, and the lead is now 14-10. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we got a shot at...
And my goodness, another interception. Picked up by Anthony Harris. And he'll take this across midfield and inside the 45. So they declined the penalty. That seems a little odd.
I'm trying to work through it and work with them to figure out why.
Well, someone's got to be confused.
That's what I think. I'm pretty sure that the bench is saying take the penalty, and somehow in the heat of the moment, they thought they were saying decline the penalty, and that's going to work against them. They should have taken it.
A gain of 3, second down.
Get him, boy! Get him, boy!
It's a pickup of 3. Brings up second and 7.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action.
It's a party now! It's a party now!
We remind you that coming up in 2 minutes, we'll again head down to visit with Jonathan Coachman in Orlando, back for another year. He'll have scores from around the NFL here on this opening weekend. Now this throw caught left side, and they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
Yeah, he did.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level, because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
An incomplete pass on second down. It muddles things a little bit here. This is 3rd and 10. Cousins over the middle. That's caught by Meredith. And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. So Cousins heads to the Vikings sideline, and on is Dan Bailey to try the field goal. Bailey's kick is good. And that moves him up by a touchdown now at 17-10. Still a little bit of time left here in the second quarter, but they do get 3 before the half and expand that lead.
And they have to be happy about that. And we haven't met a team yet that doesn't put an emphasis on trying to get points on the board in the last 2 minutes of a half. They'll be real excited to have those up on the board.
That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20.
The Falcons take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
Atlanta now coming out on the field. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on 1st down.
Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts, as it'll come with 15 seconds to play in the first half. After the sack on 1st down, Schaub. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. And now they'll take a timeout defensively. After the second down play, they burn the timeout, making him sweat out the final few ticks here in the second quarter. On 3rd down, Devontae Freeman. And they'll indeed stop him on 3rd down. And now what do you want to do with your timeouts? And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with 4th down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens. Here's Matt Bosher now. And no room for error here as his first punt comes from deep in his own end zone. They knew they were going to have great field position, went all out, got a little too aggressive.
And you have to understand your angles. They're cut down when they're that backed up. You've got to be careful going after him.
So after the penalty, we'll have one final untimed play here before halftime. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets this football out shy of the 30 to the 29. All right, we will save the Week 1 highlights and apparently get right back to the action here in the 3rd. We'll see if Week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. And not a particularly good return here as they'll be forced to start at the 12-yard line.
Well, conventional football 101 tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive, almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
And the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback, no matter the situation. And there, the defense won the battle. Here's a pass swung out left to his running back. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. Give him 6 on the screen, but now it's third down.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still, ended up with a solid game.
They face a 3rd and 4 after that last completion gets him 6. Cook. And brought down, but not before he was able to break the tackle, and the extra effort moves the sticks. Third down turns to first with that 5-yard pickup.
First down. First and 10 at the 23-yard line.
Break the high. 180. 54 miles. Switch up, switch up. No. Off.
They run again on first down. Cook. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
So they'll come up after the gain of 7 on a 2nd and 3.
Here we go.
Cousins gives way to Cook. And he's brought down after a very nice gain. That one a gain of 20 and a first down.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there, I'm just one big carry away.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Tack McKinley made his way into the backfield.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
Now, following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. On play action, Cousins. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for 3rd down.
45. Hey, exit.
Get that quarterback, D-line. Get that quarterback, D-line. D-line, get that quarterback.
Yellow.
Off the play fake, Cousins. And he's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a first down. They say he was out of bounds, so a big call there. That brings up fourth. And the coach has decided to throw the red flag. He will challenge this play.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player. You threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup.
Watch the slip. Watch the slip. Now.
They'll run with Freeman here to begin the drive. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. You know, despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now, the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
First down, Atlanta.
We go.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
You must be treated.
A handoff, Devontae Freeman. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Brings up 2nd and 4.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4.
Hey, lock it.
Freeman again. The ball comes out, and the Vikings pick up the football.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive, knowing each other's moves all game long, and they've been on the spot just about every time.
And they've held them in check on the scoreboard. To throw on 2nd and 10. Schaub over the middle, complete. That's great. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A gain there of 30 big ones.
That's a real nice job right there, working the middle of the field, working against those safeties. And you know, partner, if you get your hips turned the wrong way, big plays can result.
And a big play resulted right there. And he'll get about 5 here as he'll take this down inside the 20-yard line.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
2nd and 5 now. Schaub. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down. The Falcons on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5. They'll drop the throw. And he's got a man, Calvin Ridley. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis. It's the Falcons. They'll have the football, but trailing on the scoreboard as we get set to begin the 4th. A looming decision to make on the conversion, down 7, but first things first, they need to score as they come up on 1st and goal. They'll run here with Freeman. And he gets in. Touchdown, Atlanta. A 3-yard touchdown run. And the Falcons are an extra point away from tying the football game. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line.
The Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 17-yard line.
Just week 1, but already plenty of intrigue with the games going on, and this one no different as we come up on a 1st and 10. To throw, Cousins. He's got it complete to Diggs, right side. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
That one covers 24 yards. It's a 1st down.
First and 10 at the 44-yard line.
Cousins now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. The first run for the backup, Abdullah. Foyesade Oluwakan made the tackle there from his safety position.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker, and what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
On 2nd and 9, Cousins. And he whips that one incomplete there. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it. When you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
Throwing, Cousins. And that will be incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well.
The Falcons take over 1st and 10.
Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. And now a 10th carry for Freeman. And he's going to be taken down shy of the 5-yard line. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
Brings up 2nd and 7 at the 4-yard line.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Again, they'll run with Freeman. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. Anthony Harris on the tackle.
And it's 3rd down.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far. The crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. Back to throw. He's going to have the hook up to Gage. And he gets this up just shy of the 15. Trying to escape the shadow of their goalpost. That helped. 10 yards. 1st down. So still backed up, but the situation not as dire now. 1st and 10 at the 14. On the counter, Devontae Freeman. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 14.
60 Pittsburgh.
Second and 14. He's going to go for a big play downfield. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by the Pro Bowler, Anthony Barr. What a nightmarish game he's having now. 6 interceptions that he has thrown.
Absolutely unbelievable, isn't it? Hard to believe we're watching this and have seen it, but it just tells you about the game of football. It giveth and it taketh away.
Yeah, the guys, though, that have thrown 6 interceptions in a game, the likes of Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, I think Joe Namath, he did it 3 times.
Gun.
Following the interception, Cousins. pressure, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back right around the 44. Vic Beasley making it look easy, cruising in for the sack. Getting down to the good stuff, all tied with 2 minutes remaining on EA Sports. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete. Back-to-back big plays defensively. First the sack. Now they force the incompletion on 3rd and long. Things looking pretty good for them.
And this is where they have to be careful because they've got the momentum going their way. They will be really amped up to get to the quarterback. Look out. Draw, screen, something that can be used against them.
Cousins to throw it. And he can't come up with a pick. Nearly his second of the game. Instead, 4th down. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is he just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
Just a yard return there after a punt of 49. And the Falcons will get it 1st and 10 from deep in their own territory.
Let's go now. 15, Ronnie. 15, Ronnie. We own it. Check.
This is Freeman on 1st and 10. And he'll find a little space. He gets us up near the 10. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
On 2nd down, Freeman. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down.
Here we go. 90 Wolf.
Now Shaw. And they almost had another one. They are all over the football in this game. Nearly another pick. Now 4th down. Nearly an interception. If that one's picked off, it's over. So a new lease on life, so to speak.
A lot of times when you're in coverage, you're so focused on the man and the coverage that sometimes the ball, if it arrives, it surprises you. That may have happened to him in that situation.
We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. They've gone final now in Charlotte. And emerging victorious in that one, the Rams. A win would be their first of the young season. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
At this stage, you've got to hustle. Got to get back to the line of scrimmage because you're saving that timeout to make sure you have a chance to get your kicker out there for the big shot.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Now we're in the situation where the quarterback's got to take full charge of his huddle. Got to totally command it, make sure all eyes are on him. All focus is locked in. Going to call multiple plays and go over different situations and scenarios to make sure everyone is on the same page.
Open man is Thielen. It's complete. Well, he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he almost made it, but just short. Finally out of bounds, right down around the goal line.
First and goal at the 1-yard line.
A game-winning field goal would be a chip shot from here. Let's see how they play it on 1st and goal. And they will take a knee and set up what would be a potential game-winning field goal try. On 2nd and goal, Cook waiting in the backfield all alone. Now the timeout will be called, so they're in field goal range with 3 seconds left. And now what the heck is this? A punt formation from the red zone? And now we'll get a delay here as they try to give themselves a little more room for the punt. Now, I think they're just a product of trying to buy themselves 5 extra yards.
And they want to help their punter out, right? Help with the angle, trying to pin the ball deep. That's exactly what they did there.
And his kick here is good. And with that, they take the lead here 20-17. So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory. And, partner, I must say, good to see you again. Been too long. And it's good to have football back, isn't it?
Didn't you see me in preseason? Weren't we together in preseason?